Hello friends, in the last lecture we have discussed the question number 5, that is tabular form of part, and now in this video we will discuss the diagram based questions. So let's see. Total they have given 7 diagrams. We will begin with the first diagram, that is based on utility relationship between TU and MUs, our second topic. Let's see. You can see that when TU increases marginal utility, we can, if we know that TU starts increasing but at a diminishing rate and MU starts falling, you can write false or you can write decreases, because if its return increases, you can write it as false, decreases. So D, let's not we will write it as decreases or MU false. Okay. Then name the unit where consumer will be derived this utility. See, in the diagram, you can see it is same as in the textbook given. In the diagram, you can see 7th. Okay. In the 7th, we have this utility, and 6th, we have point of satiety. When the TU is maximum, MU is 0. Remember, when TU, we know this relationship. When TU is highest, at that time, MU is 0. It is located on the x-axis. Okay. Then the unit where consumer will derive maximum satisfaction, that is point of satiety. You can see maximum unit is this point of satiety. So you will tell, what they have named the unit. Unit means at 6th unit, he got the maximum satisfaction. He is experiencing point of satiety. So your answer will be 6th unit. Okay, so first diagram based question is over. Then we have second. See, this is the demand curve. D1 indicates increase in demand. Write down the answer, increase in demand. See, this is asking, they are asking about this, and D2 is, this is D2. So this is decrease in demand. Then next, name the above diagram and explain. See, this is the diagram of changes in demand. So I will label it as changes in demand. I already explained you for changes in demand, we have to remember CID and no price. CID don't charges price to us. So price remains constant, and change, C stands for changes. Changes is of 2 types, increase in demand and decrease in demand. Okay, so name the above diagram and explain means you are going to explain little bit about increase in demand and decrease in demand. Increase in demand, you are going to tell that there is increase in demand but price remains constant. This happens because of factors other than price, that is income increases, or you can write a change in taste preference, like that. Same way, decrease in demand, you will tell that demand decreases other than price, and the reason is other than price. You can tell fall in price, fall in income of the customer. Simply 2 lines, you can write it from the textbook only. We have already done in the distinguished part that meaning You can write meaning part and reasons for increase decrease. And labeling of this diagram is change in demand. And no need to draw diagram. Okay, you have to simply write the answers. Next. Okay, this is next diagram. Diagram A represents, see diagram A. You can see it's shifting from point A to B, and here it is shifting from B to A. So diagram A represents expansion of demand, and this is next question they have asked you. Diagram B represents dash in demand. What will be? It will be a contraction of demand. See, this is variation type of demand where expansion and contraction takes place only because of change in price. You can see here price is falling and price is rising. Two cases are there. Okay. Then next is in diagram A, movement of demand curve is, write down, upward. You can see in diagram A, movement of demand curve. Okay, sorry. It's not upward. Huh? It's coming downward. It's not upward. Okay, it's coming A to B. It's moving downward direction. Okay, so downward direction from left to right. From left to right. And for this, in diagram B, you can see it goes upward direction. Huh? So here in the fourth, you will write it is upward direction, that is from right to left. मी परत सांगते, थोडीशी गडबड झाली इथे. Diagram A, you can see the movement is towards downwards and here it is upwards. So in diagram A, movement of demand curve is A to B. It is downward. And in diagram B, movement of demand curve is upward from right to left. Okay. Just a second. So A is downward and B is upward. Next. Should I explain it again? Wait, I will explain it again because here I made some mistake. I will tell you again. See, diagram A movement is downward from left to right. And diagram B movement of demand curve is upward. You can see it's showing upward direction only. From right to right to left. Okay, let's move to the next question. These are the simple different types of price elasticity of demand. Now see the question. Identify the types of price elasticity of demand from the diagram. You're going to write like this. See, they have labeled as A, B, C, D. Write your answer in this way. A diagram, name of the diagram, first diagram is perfectly inelastic. You can write ED is equal to 0. I have already told you HPE, horizontal, perfectly elastic is horizontal, and VIP is vertical, perfectly inelastic. So first is our vertical parallel to y-axis. So this is called as. Then second we have horizontal means perfectly elastic, and ED is equal to infinity. Then we have unitary elastic. So unitary elastic demand, it is equal to 1, exactly 1. And fourth we will label it as half mark each, so it will carry 2 marks. Okay, and fourth one is, you can see it is relatively elastic. Your, it should be more than 1. Okay, now next, write slope of demand curve in the above diagram. See, they are asking you the slope, so I will tell you one by one. Here you can write vertical line parallel to which axis? Y-axis. Here you will write horizontal. See, I'm talking about this diagram. I'm talking about this diagram now. Horizontal line, demand curve is horizontal line parallel to x-axis. Then we have C diagram, unitary elastic. For unitary elastic, you will write rectangular slope as rectangular hyperbola. It is in the 3B chapter. Okay, rectangular hyperbola. And here it is flatter slope. Okay, slope, 4 slope, horizontal, vertical, rectangular, hyperbola, flatter slope. One more diagram is there, they have not given, but if it is asked, then we have one more diagram, steeper slope, that is relatively inelastic. That diagram has been not provided to us, but I'm just telling you the answer if it is provided to you. And that ED is equal to less than 1. It has been not given, huh? Don't write. Okay, then we have 2 marks each. No need to write all the explanatory answer. No need to draw the diagram. Now next, okay, now we have to write over here. Okay, this is based on type of elasticity, methods of measuring elasticity of demand. This is called point method or geometric method. We have different types. Now, which method of measuring is in the above diagram? We use point method, linear demand. We have linear and non-linear demand curve, but this is the case of linear demand curve. So my answer to my first question is, the method is known as point method or geometric method. Into bracket, write down this is linear demand curve. This diagram is linear demand curve. Then mention the type of elasticity at point C. See, at point C, first of all, write down the formula. See, they have asked you one more question based on it. So we are going to write the formula first. Elasticity of demand at point C is, the formula is lower segment of demand curve below point, they have asked from point C, na? So below point C upon upper segment, write the formula like this only, of demand curve above point C. So I know, now I know lower segment CE and upper segment CA. So I will write here, as lower segment. First of all, I will write lower segment, then upper segment, C upon CA. What they have asked you, mention the type of elasticity. They have just mentioned you the point of elasticity as CE is smaller than CA. So this is relatively inelastic. They have mentioned you type only. So this is relatively inelastic. So next is find out the elasticity at point B by applying formula. Here you are going to write the same formula. I will show it again. Lower segment. Now my points I will change it. Lower segment of demand curve below point D and upper segment of demand curve above point D. And then they are saying apply the formula. That's why we have written this formula. Then I will write, see, you can see it is DE lower segment and DA. It is just half, 50%. Assume that AE is equal to 8 centimeter. So 4 upon 4 is equal to 1. So elasticity of demand is equal to 1. Okay. They are not given the measurement, but we have assumed. It looks like in the textbook we have drawn like that only. So we have assumed over here. Now the next question. So this is mention the, how many questions are there? Only 2. Mention the equilibrium point and equilibrium price in the above diagram. Now you will write equilibrium point. E is the equilibrium point. So write E is equal to equilibrium point. You will write like this. And equilibrium price. Now you can see price they have shown on y-axis. So my answer will be equilibrium price. They have not given any OP or something. Let it be. So we will write equilibrium price is equal to rupees 300. Sorry, equilibrium price, and equilibrium price is the price at which demand and supply are equal, are in equal quantity. Okay, you can write about equilibrium price, whatever you know about equilibrium price. Okay, then explain the concept of equilibrium price with the help of above diagram. Now you can see in the textbook, we can write about the equilibrium price and the concept, like what you have to exactly for, I will tell you. See what exactly they want. Explain the concept with the help of above diagram. So in short, they want the explanation of the diagram. And remember this, it's of only 2 marks. So they don't expect writing everything. What we will do, we will write that the interaction of demand and supply determine the price of commodity. This is known as equilibrium price. And page number 48, second point. See, second point, when price rises to 300, quantity demanded and quantity supplied become equal. This is the stage of equilibrium where demand and supply becomes equal. Hence, 300 becomes the equilibrium price. So you will write about that second point. Don't copy as it is. Just tell that at 300 rupees, 300 rupees is called equilibrium price and 3000 is called equilibrium quantity, because at that quantity and at that price your demand and supply units are equal. This is sufficient because they have asked it for 2 marks only. No need to write further explanation because it is not for long answer. Just mention what you have understood equilibrium price. No need to write all this pair of scissors and everything. Don't need to write because it will go very lengthy answer. They just want to know that what exactly you have understood. So you had to mention what is equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity, that is mentioned that 3000 units where demand units and supply units are equal. Equilibrium price is the only price where demand and supply intersect each other. And demand and supply price is same. That you have to mention. That is sufficient. Okay. Now move on to the next. This is also little bit okay. You can write it in your own words also. See, this is very easy. Explain the concept of product real flow. Now, if you remember, I have explained you while drawing diagram. Here the diagram has been given, but in the exam, if it has been asked in a short note, then remember this MI or these words. MI, you know, mobile. So it is money. When it is money, it is inner flow, and or outer flow is real flow. म्हणजे मनी फ्लो जिथे होतो तो इनर सर्कल आहे आणि आउटर जो सर्कल आहे तो रियल म्हणजे गुड्स अँड सर्व्हिसेस फॅक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. हिअर व्हॉट दे हॅव आस्क्ड यू, एक्सप्लेन द कन्सेप्ट ऑफ रियल फ्लो. दे हॅव आस्क्ड यू टू राईट अबाउट मनी फ्लो अँड real flow with the help of diagram. What you will write, you can refer that thing textbook, or you can write in your own words. I will tell you, I will just tell you in easy words. See, there are two sectors, household and firms. I'm talking about now real flow. Real flow means what you have to take care. You have to talk about the only outer circle. Then next, you should understand factors of production and goods and services. You are going to talk about only these things. You are not going to talk about anything about the money. So about the real flow, what I will say, there are two sectors, household and firms. Household are the owners of the factors of production. That is land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. And they provide these factors of production to the firm, because firm don't have these, and they make use of all these factors of production and produces goods and services and send back to household. Household utilizes, consume these goods and services. So outer flow explains only about real flow where goods and services and factors of production transfers. This is called real flow. Then about money flow. Inner circle, MI, inner circle tells about the money flow. Why money flow? Because household are the owners of factors of production. They provide land, labor, capital, entrepreneur to the firms, and firm utilizes these factors of production, and in return they make factor payments, that is rent, wages, interest, profit respectively. Remember students, see the sequence and accordingly write those factor payments. Once the factor payments received by the household, they use that money to consume goods and services produced by the firms. So in inner circle, there is a money flow. So this is sufficient 2 marks. You can refer your textbook. I'm not dictating the answers, but in simple words, I have explained you what exactly you have to cover. With this, we have finished the diagram parts also. So in the next video, we will cover passage part. Thank you.